Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, fine.
Nice. Many thanks, man, for taking the time out of your schedule to join this discussion. My name is Mansing, and we will have this discussion for 45 minutes and may extend for 10 minutes if you have a time or if you have a bandwidth, right?
Okay.
So, Omkar, so this discussions we will split up in two parts. The first part, I would really want to understand your experience working on a DevOps side, how much end-to-end DevOps you have done, as well as the AWS cloud, if you have worked upon. And then remaining 20 minutes, we will take a use case, a scripting use case. Okay. And again, Omkar, it is not possible to write like 100% syntax correctly without help of Google. So I'm just expecting pseudocode or some logic at least in a place,
Okay.
right? So, and if we have any questions during these discussions or end of the discussions, you can ask me. I'm absolutely happy to answer your question.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Right. So just bear with me for a moment. Let me have your resume open. I already had gone through your resume. Just want to have it open in my screen, in front of my screen, so that I don't lose anything. Bear with me for a moment. Uh, it's not there. It's there. I need to reach out to my HR because I guess she has forgotten, or I might have it somewhere downloaded. Okay. Ah, there we go. Can
You got it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So, Omkar, like I said, that I've already gone through your profiles, and the way we would like to have this discussion going is first 20 minutes, just discuss about how, what all areas you worked upon, and then remaining 20 minutes on use case scripting, and then 5 minutes if you have any questions for me, and just a talk. So, yeah, be comfortable.
Okay.
Um, of course, I would like to understand, right? Where are you currently working? What kind of DevOps practices you have injected? Okay, uh, over to you.
Yeah, sure. So mine is Omkar and I previously worked with the BNY as currently I'm not working and last working day was 2nd April and as part of the DevOps tool so mostly I work in the AWS as a cloud, then Jenkins as a CI/CD, then Git as a repository, then Terraform. Uh, this kind of tools has been used and as part of the project I worked in the migration related activities to do the migration from on-premise to the AWS. So for that whatever technology or setup that has been needed, whatever initial configuration or initial documentation that we need to do that has been done and right after from creating that infrastructure and doing it to the fully automated using the Jenkins CI/CD pipeline that has been done. And apart from that, there is another project related with the infrastructure automation using the Terraform. So for that, whatever AWS services related that we need to do the automation that has been created using the Terraform. Yeah, that's it.
So let's deep dive to the automated deployment pipeline that you said
Mhm.
implemented, right? So you pick up any projects, maybe pick up a projects from your last company,
Mhm.
and talk about let's deep dive to that CI/CD pipeline that you have implemented, just to understand how what level you have implemented this automated deployment pipelines.
Okay.
Okay, so what I would really want to understand from you is uh, what is the framework of that product? Was it like a microservices based or a distributed monolithic or a complete monolithic application? And then how you are building each microservices and deploying it to lower environments to the higher environments.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. So
So
yeah, over to you.
So
Mhm.
basically, we are supporting or doing the implementation related with the various .NET application like web application and some Java application. And as part of the application, so whatever infrastructure that has been needed to set up and to the full automation, we are doing support from end to end. So as part of the Git, we have the dedicated GitLab or GitHub repository has been set up, and that contains the Git branching strategy. So it has a dev UAT production branch, and in that we have the future branch for each and every environment, and inside the future branch we have the dedicated particular developer creating their own branch from that future branch. So any commit has been happen, it will be going from that particular local branch to the future branch with the pull request or PR request, and once that has been approved, it will go to the next stage. And then we have the Jenkins. So Jenkins can be used as a CI/CD pipeline. So in the Jenkins we have the different stages. First is the checkout, then we are going to build using the Maven. Then we have the sonar cube analysis, then unit test, Maven clean test that has been used, sonar cube analysis. Then we have the JFrog artifactory for creating the artifactory and deploy it on the server. And then we have the dev server where we are going to deploy, then it's going to deploy on the UAT and then to the production. So as part of the deployment, we are following like a blue green deployment, and we have like first we are going to do deployment on the dev, then we are going to test it whole the week, then we are planning it on the QA, and then in the final in the production. So monthly we have the production deployment cycle is happening. And apart from that, we have the environment setup. So whatever environment that has been set up in the AWS, that has been set up using the AWS console itself. So whatever, like in the AWS we have the different services, like right from the networking, right from the compute storage, so that kind of services has been used, and we have established a dedicated connection, so that as part of the developer, once developer is going to check or commit the code for the particular application, right, it will going to get the latest data from the Git, then it try to bundle up the project, then it's going to do the unit test analysis, then it will going to do sonar cube analysis, then it's going to deploy on the dev UAT and production, and all is happening through the CI/CD pipeline directly. And as part of the configuration in the Jenkins, we have the dedicated plugins whatever related with like Git, then sonar cube, then artifactory, then AWS. So that kind of plugins has been already installed and their setup has been configured, so that we are going to use that directly in the Jenkins pipeline, so that with this the fully automated cycle has been created right from build to the deployment.
Okay, so again, like the workflow that you just walked me through, let's deep dive to each of them. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, what was the framework like? Was it a Java? Was it .NET, or on UI side? What was the framework being used for that product?
Yeah,
The one
so
that you supported.
yeah, so there is a different projects. So for the Java, I think Angular has been used, and for the .NET, is a dedicated .NET framework has been used.
Sorry, you said for Java, Angular has been used.
Yes, Java and Angular as front end has been used. So that is one project,
Okay.
and as there we have 20 plus applications that we are supporting. So it's like web applications are there mostly with the Java, and other is the .NET. So as major part, as a we are supporting major to the .NET application. So mostly related with the web application, and some are Citrix based applications are there.
So this Java-based application, right?
Mhm.
Um, was it like a microservices based or monolithic?
No, all are monolithic application. Cause for the microservice we didn't work directly, but there is a separate team for the creating that microservice from other projects.
Okay.
Mhm.
And on the Jenkins,
Mhm.
you had a freestyle job or you had a pipeline job?
Yeah, we had the pipeline job.
Okay, so let's talk about the pipeline job and the Java project, or pick up any other Angular, or let's talk about the backend service first. Okay,
Mhm.
so how you build it? Like, let's deep dive the CI part, the continuous integrations or the continuous build part, right?
Okay, okay.
So how or what command do you pass in the Jenkins pipeline to get your
Mhm. Okay, so
code
first,
built?
yeah, first of all, we have the Git. So we have the Git plugin has been already installed. So we are going to use Git. Then we are going to pass the Git URL, so that whatever Git URL present and that whatever repository it is going to check out. Then as part of the build, we are using the Maven dependency project is there. So we are going to use MVN clean install is their command. So going to install or build the particular project using the Maven build, and then we have the MVN clean test. So whatever the build configuration has been generated, it will going to test the project that truly, and once test has been completed, it will going to the next step.
Okay, so what do you get out of your build step?
So it's giving the like build artifacts, or we can saying the sample output, like what when we are going to build any project, it will give the if in the part of like yeah, .NET, it will going to generate the similar build configuration of
Omkar, just let's talk about the Java only. Okay,
okay.
so my question is, what do you get out of? Sorry to interrupt you. So,
uh,
what artifact do you get? Like, do you get a jar file, zip file, war file from that Java project?
yeah, so we are getting the jar files from that particular build.
Okay, and then how do you kick off the Sonar Cube analysis from
Yes.
your Jenkins pipeline?
Yeah, so in the Jenkins, we have the Sonar Cube analysis, Sonar Cube configuration has been set up, and in the pipeline itself, we are going to use the command like sh, then Sonar Cube, and whatever environment variable has been created in the configuration that we need to pass. So that Sonar Cube, what will done when we mention this particular command, whatever build configuration already created, it going to start building and start scanning the particular build, and it will check for any vulnerability or any issues for the particular project. And the as part of the sonar dashboard, we are able to see that if there is an issue for the particular scanning related, and we have the dedicated configuration set at the sonar cube, like we have the quality gate check. So we have set the limit to the 80%. If there is a 80% pass has been happened for the quality, then it will quality gate will be passed, and the pipeline will go to the next stage.
So, what does Sonar scans actually? Does it scans your build artifact, or does it scan your code, or
Yes.
does it scan something else?
Yeah, so it is going to scan the whole code of the particular application. So basically, whatever flaws in the particular code, so it will going to client vulnerability. So in the vulnerability, it's like is there a hard coding has been happened for the particular tokens, username, password, and is there a SQL injection or DDoS attacks has been happened. So their default profile has been set up in the Sonar Cube itself. So based on that profile, it will going to scan. It will generate the report.
Okay. Did you just say like a vulnerability? Does it scan for vulnerabilities as well?
Yes. Uh,
And how does vulnerability show up on the Sonar dashboard? Does it have any number of vulnerabilities or identification that this vulnerability is belongs to so and so?
Yes, yes. So as part of the Sonar Cube dashboard, we have the a report that will show like which kind of vulnerability or issue has been happened, and in for which particular file that has been issue has been occurred, and what is the severity, like it giving the priority from low, medium, high, and based on that we are able to fix
Okay, so you said CVE,
severity. Yeah.
severity. Okay, okay. So once you have a jar file, what do you do next after a Sonar analysis?
Yeah, so next is the we are going to deploy as an artifact to the artifact servers. JFrog artifact has been used. So for that artifact configuration has been done in the Jenkins in the configuration, and artifact ID, that whatever setup variable has been set up, that has been used in the particular pipeline. So that we just need to pass whatever jar file path from the source to the destination server path. So it will going to copy that particular jar or war file, and it will going to deploy to the artifactory server.
Or what is the command that you're passing in the pipeline to send artifacts to Nexus or to the JFrog Artifactory?
Yeah, so it's like sh, then artifact ID colon comma, then what is the source and destination.
And where does it pick up the destination from?
Yeah, so that configuration has been set up in the Jenkins global configuration. In that, whatever artifact URL that has been set up, server configuration is be there, and we just need to fetch that variable in the pipeline.
But where does it pick up the artifact ID, the version ID from?
So in the global configuration of the Jenkins, so we have the while we are going to configure the artifact setup, in that we have the version history, that particular ID name, and then a URL name and server name details. So that has been mentioned in that configuration, and that variable we are going to use in the pipeline.
But that's like a global configurations. Your projects are different. How come your different projects are going to their own repositories on JFrog Artifactory?
No, no. So that will going to set up specific to that particular project. So we are going to attach the ID specific to that project
Where?
in that configuration itself. So there are two things here. There. One is the global level configuration that has been done in the Jenkins level, and another configuration in the pipeline level. So whatever ID that is going to we are going to pass, we are going to attach in the that pipeline itself, like artifact colon artifact ID, and ID we are going to pass. Might be syntax
Okay.
little different, but with this we are able to do.
So what he's saying is for every single project, for every single monolithic project,
Hmm.
you're setting up the artifact ID, the version ID pertaining to that particular projects in the Jenkins configuration.
Yes, correct.
And then you are archiving the artifacts
Hmm.
using next, what command you said you're using to send the artifacts to JFrog?
So it's like a bash script like sh and then artifact id, whatever id we are going to pass, comma, then there is a artifact word space source and destination path. There might be
No, but what
setting
is the utility you are using to send the artifact?
jfrog artifactory.
Okay. Now my question is, I'm sorry. My question is like, what is the command that you're passing,
Mhm.
or what is the utility that you are using to send your artifacts to the Nexus? I mean, to the JFrog Artifactory from your pipeline.
I think the artifact related only artifact command is there. Syntax not remember right now, but with this we are able to do, or not remember exactly, or we can use the X copy also. So for the Windows specific, so we can do that as well. But
Okay. And what is the version you are giving to the artifacts, to the jar files that are generating from your compile stage?
yeah, so it's basically like a framework level or a higher level, like a project level. So we have that first there is a version, artifact number, project number, then group level number are there. So it's based on that combination we are going to pass that variables. So it will generate a runtime whatever the particular version is available.
Okay. Can you just explain, elaborate more on that? Like, what is the exact version you're giving and how is it corresponding to the releases?
Okay. So one example is like for one project. So we have one .NET project. So we are giving like .NET. Then plus we are going to append the project specific. So if it is a Windows specific application for the mutual fund, then whatever project name, then mutual fund. Then if it is a artifact, what is artifact? Then if it is a JFrog or in other, then JFrog. And what is the version number? Currently it's like 1.0. With this, it will going to combine and generate one unique ID
So where are these information being passed?
in the pipeline itself.
Okay. So in the pipeline as a plain variables.
Yes.
But then how does your pipeline give the incremental version to every single artifact that being generated from your build stage?
Yeah, so there is a dedicated file like pom.xml is there. So in the pom.xml, we have that uh, key value pair has been defined in that whenever version is there. So that configuration has been defined that itself. From there, we just need to cache the variables.
No, I'm not getting this. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What I'm asking is like, how do you generate the artifact version in incremental order? The one place you said that you have fixed sets of variables defined in the Jenkins file itself.
Mhm.
With the combination of that, you're generating the artifact version.
Okay, so
Okay, it
for
could
the
be anything. Two
yeah,
zero.
so for
Uh-huh.
the incremented is like a dollar index and count that has been used, so it will going to increment. So you just we are going to append that version number.
Okay, so that's with your CI pipeline,
Mhm.
like your continuous build pipelines. I appreciate your explanation. So, what happens after continuous integrations? How are you deploying it to the lower environments,
Mhm.
upper environments, and to which web containers or web hosting servers are you deploying these jar files to?
Okay, so we have like dev unit in production environment, and after the build artifact all has been ready, we are going to deploy it on the dev. So for the dev, so we have the different commands. So based on the server, we are going to deploy it. So as part of the Windows, we are using the xcopy command. So in that xcopy command, we are going to pass source and destination server. So in the destination server, that configuration have we need to set in the global configuration using the AWS plugin. So whatever IP address or domain name system is there, that we need to configure, and that variable we are going to pass in the destination. So that with that command, whatever source project or data is there, it will going to migrate to the destination one. And once that pipeline that deployment has been completed, then we are going to do the post build action to check the success and failure, like if that particular application has been migrated to the destination one. And then we are going to validate using the URL that if that application has been deployed or not. So once that deployed to the particular dev environment, we are going to validate it throughout the day. And then we have the another pipeline that is specific to the QA and production one. So whatever application deployed till now dev, then we have the another pipeline to from dev to the QA, and from that if we have the manual trigger that has been enabled in the Jenkins. So once user requested to deploy from dev to QA, we are going to approve, and then approval done, then we are going to deploy to the QA and same to the production.
So how does your pipeline pulls the artifacts from a Nexus? Do you pass in the version? I mean, how does it picks up the particular version from the Nexus JFrog Artifactory and deploy it to your servers?
So whatever variable that has been passed previously for generating the particular version, so it will generate the that particular version, so that will going to assign to the one variable, and that variable going to used for the next pipeline.
How you're passing a variable from one pipeline to another pipeline?
So we have the global variable that has been defined, and whatever variable has been defined, so in each pipeline we are going to update that variable, and it will going to pass to the next one.
But global variable is defined at Jenkins global setting, you
Yes,
mean?
yes.
But that's like a, see, global variable is global variables. You cannot just keep on changing it, right? Like you have a Java projects, you have a CI pipelines. Your what you explain me is you have version
Mm-hmm,
defined at Jenkins pipeline.
mm-hmm,
That's how the version being combined and giving a version to that artifact.
mm-hmm,
Okay. Now what you're saying is while pulling the artifacts from Nexus, it is using the variable which is defined at global level,
mm-hmm,
which is like seems to be contradicting unless I'm misunderstanding you. Okay.
mm-hmm.
uh, any experience with Docker?
Yes, able to do the means not much, but a little containerization, like you need to write some Docker file.
So have you written Docker files for your production?
Not as a production, but as a we part, we need to learn for the Docker, like how things are working, the Docker and container. So like likewise, a basic understanding I know.
And any experience with Kubernetes?
Yeah, same. So I have no knowledge of the basic Kubernetes, like how things are working. So as a practical, I not created or deploy anyone.
Okay. So what are base images? Like when you write a Docker file, the first step that you write from image,
Mhm.
uh, what are base images have you used, or what are the base images would you recommend to your customers to use?
Yeah, so if it's like a Linux-based application is there, we are going to suggest like from Ubuntu, we are going to use like or Linux. If it is Windows specific, we are going to specific Windows. And if it's like specific to the server related, like Nginx server, so from Nginx we are able to use. If it is only Python related, then we are going to suggest the from Python only. So based on that, whatever requirement, we are going to use the minimal version for the particular image, so that we are not getting the huge data for the particular image.
But Ubuntu itself is a huge image.
Yes, yes.
So what else image you can think of
Yeah,
to
so
keep the Docker image optimized?
yeah, so based on the whatever requirement, like if it is specific to the Nginx related, so we can use the Nginx. Then if it is Python, then Python from Java. So whatever images are there, based on that specific to the application, we are going to use.
So for Java, which image would you think is a best image to use, which will keep my Docker size minimum?
I think from Java JDK.
Okay,
Hmm,
cool. So let's talk about your AWS experience
hmm,
also.
hmm, hmm.
Okay. Uh, how long you have worked on AWS?
Yeah, around 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Hmm.
And anything you set up from pipeline perspective on AWS?
Yes, as part of like AWS code build, code commit, code deploy that has been done, and also with the Jenkins also done.
Okay, so you have used AWS code pipelines to deploy code changes to EC2 or EKS?
Yeah, EC2.
EC2. So how is that happening? Like how you're deploying code changes, maybe a jar file. Let's take the same example. How you're deploying a new jar files to EC2.
Yeah, so we have the GitHub repository has been configured, and that GitHub repository we are going to use in the code pipeline. So in that code pipeline, we have the code commit, code build are there. In that we are going to pass that particular repository, and once that repository has been passed, from that it will going to do the build and deployment.
So my question is, what is What is that you're using in code pipeline which will push the artifacts to EC2 instance?
Artifact.
Like a jar file, like you have a jar file out of build step.
Mhm.
Now when it comes to deploy steps, deploying this new artifacts, new jar files to the EC2 instance, how you doing it?
No, 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 not remember exactly. Mhm.
Okay, no worries. All right, let's hop onto this scripting exercise.
Mhm.
Okay, do you mind sharing your screen if
Yes.
possible?
Yep. Sure.
Okay.
I'm
Perfect.
sharing now. Able to see?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Let me
Yes.
zoom it. Yeah.
Just bear with me. Yeah.
Mhm.
So on a chart, I just gave you two variables. Okay, each variable is of type list.
Mhm.
Okay, just array elements.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
now the variable Omkar, which has the cities that Omkar likes, Mansingh has the cities that Mansingh likes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so you need to find out the common array elements between these two and print a message that okay, this is the common city that both likes.
Okay. Mhm. Yes, with this we can able to do. Might be
Okay.
syntax little different, but basically what we need to do as part of the Python, we need to define that particular list, and we need to define one output variable like a common, and we need to loop from each and every list, and we need to check, like first it will go to the first I element for the zeroth location, and it will compare to the jth of zero location. If they are not matching, then it will going to the j of next, like first it will going to check Mumbai with Pune, with Pune, then Delhi with Pune, then it will go to the next, like it will going to check Pune. Here I will be the 1 and j will be the 0, so it will going to match here and it will come here. So common, it will going to add, or I can say it's going to append the Mumbai value here, then same it will going to
Okay.
applies for each one.
Got you. Thanks.
Mm,
Now let me take you back to the Terraform.
mhm,
Okay.
mm.
How long you worked on a Terraform,
Yeah, 3 years.
and what is the folder structure in Terraform looks like in your project?
Yeah, so as part of the Terraform, so we have the dedicated like a dev UAT in production, like separate TF state file is there, and as part of folder structure, so we have the different folder for each resource, or we can say compute level is different, then storage related different, then network related is different, and main.tf is different, and each folder it has like a EC2 related separate, variable related separate file is there, network related separate TF file is there, and as part of the DB related, there for the DBD related there is a separate file, and what are the common variables that we are going to use, there is a separate TF file, and whatever the common variable that has been already defined, we are going to use it in the main.tf to generalize the whole project.
So let's say you've been asked to write a Terraform code
Mhm,
for a EC2.
mhm.
Uh, would you create a main.tf file and then write the whole EC2 definition out there?
No, what will do, I will do first create the main dot variables dot tf, whatever variable that has been needed, we will going to define that. Then whatever security group, then VPC related information that is needed, then going to create the separate file, and then the main dot tf. So in that, whatever variables have been defined, just we need to use in the resource related structure. We are just going to pass the variable, and whatever VPC, or you can say EC2 related tags, name, configuration, and AMI IDs are that we are going to use it.
Have you used modules in
Yes,
your project?
yes.
How have you used modules?
So it's like modules, you can say it's a reusable part of the code that can be used. So as part of the models, whatever, like we have the EC2 instance, like multiple EC2 instance has been created, and it has a little different configuration. So whatever common in configuration is there, that has been created as one module, and that has been using the import model we are going to use in the other files.
Okay. So for your projects, are you using modules or you're creating a definition every single time for a project?
No, we are using the modules only.
So in terms of module, how is the folder structure looks like?
So for the module, there is a separate module folder is there. In that module, whatever security related module is different, networking related module is different, compute related and DB related separate modules are there. And inside that, each for each one network related, like if the VPC related is the separate TF file, then other is separate file.
Okay, cool, cool. So Omkar, I think I'm pretty much done.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm,
Um, so
mhm.
I see that you're not currently working,
Yes, correct.
but you left BNY. So what was the reason you left and you're not working?
Yeah, due to some medical emergency in home, I left the job.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So Omkar, do you have any question for me before you wind up this discussion?
Yeah, so just want to know like what is the project and what tools are as be expecting as part of this role?
Right. So we have different projects. It's the Clear Route is a new company, I
Mhm,
would say, been established a year back in London. We are expanding entity in Pune.
mhm,
We have a different projects already. We've already started with one of the projects here.
mhm,
It is expected. So we are looking for someone having a good amount of experience working on end-to-end automated deployment pipelines.
mhm,
Okay. We are also looking for someone having a good amount of experience working on a AWS. So
mhm,
anything that goes on AWS, not a single resource is created or had been created through uh, management console. Everything is going through the Terraform.
mhm,
And we also having a CI/CD for each of the microservices that they have.
mhm. Okay.
What we are expecting is a good amount of experience in scripting,
Mm-hmm.
experience in automated deployment pipeline,
Mm-hmm.
experience. I mean, DevOps is a versatile role. I cannot just expect
Correct.
one person to do every single thing.
Correct.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that we're really looking for someone have really worked on DevOps areas in the past.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Any other questions, Apkar?
No, we are good.
Cool, cool, man. So we'll share the feedback with HR
Yeah. Sure.
as per the process.
Yeah.
They will reach out to you. I appreciate again for taking the time out of your schedule to join this discussion. It was nice speaking with you. You have a lovely day, man. Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye
Same
bye.
to you. Bye.